energy, the atom. Then you just have the mother. Then the mother, I just described to you, has to wake up 6 in the morning, get the children at 7, get them out the door, get them to school, go to work herself, dealing with all kinds of personalities and mental health issues, or just from the co-workers. Then get on the bus where you got all kinds of issues and all kinds of psychic attacks on the bus, dealing with people with their own personal issues. Then to pick up the children, go home, you got to deal with all their personalities, wash up, homework. Then by the time you get to do you, it's 11, 12 o'clock. But meanwhile, some mothers, they end up having babysitters. And it's called the television. Cable. Unrestricted cable. The children are so smart today they can go into your cell phone and lock it. They can get your daggone PIN number. They can unlock a prohibited program on the TV. You see? So the process of removing the family structure is part of the inappropriate behavior of black people. Well, we had Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, we had Paul Robeson, we had Ida B. Wells, we had so many people that came along and gave us the remedy. So whose fault is it? It's not nobody else's fault, because we have all the mathematical, everything is lined up. Everything. In most of the scriptures, all over the world, family values, once that goes, you go. I think it's in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the book of Hinduism. It says that once the family values go, then that's it. Humanity is done. So now it's socially acceptable for your child to watch TV while you're at work. And then you have the man who is not working, and then his ego shattered because you're working, you're making more than him, and next thing you know, he's emotional. Because the male energy is dominant. You ever see boys with their mothers? They're dominant. Even at 2. So it's the masculine energy that is a natural builder. Well, it talks about killing the male, sparing the female. If I remove the masculinity out of these young teenage males and replace it with a feminine counterpart where they got their pants down there behind, showing their underwear for availability, but the girls are producing more testosterone and masculinity. Well, that's the other part of the attack. And this is the hip-hop community worldwide. I don't know if y'all watch cable, but in China, they're going crazy over there. In China, with hip-hop music and the young culture. So the inappropriate behavior of black people is just the topic of today, but let's look at the reality of the inappropriate behavior of society. Period. This society is inappropriate across the board. Because as scientists, we got to get out of a particular mindset and we got to open up. We got to open up. Because if we don't, we won't be able to save them children. We got to hit them on all levels so wherever they go, they can't escape. So this man, his parents got harassed. They went to him. He said, all I know is somebody came and his name was Jesus and he just opened me up and boom, I was seeing. That's all I know. You know what I mean? You take it up with him. You see what I'm saying? So that story alone, being born blind, is not necessarily that physical blindness. But we got to remember that this person was a beggar. And we got to remember that they did not become a beggar by birth. It was a condition in that society. Because if they had money at that time, he wouldn't have been a beggar. If the economy was pretty good, he wouldn't have been a beggar. He would have some, not Federal Reserve notes, but some Palestinian notes or Israeli notes or whatever. He would have some money. But because he was a beggar, gives you an idea of the economy at that time. And the fact that here's somebody coming along and you let them put some spit and some dirt on your face. So he had to be open up. So that means he had to be at the point of desperation, which is just like people who are on drugs and they got their bottom. They stop. They want no more crack. They want to come and give their life up. They want to go to rehab. They're done. Desperation. So we got to get to the people when they're in their desperate state. That's the only time they're going to come over. But when they think that it's all good and everything is sweet, and they're under the illusion of this particular functionally dysfunctional society, then they're living an illusion. So in my closing, I just want to say one of the ways of being born blind is the birth certificate. You can get on the internet and look up the birth certificate truth. Everybody's birth certificate that is signed by our grandma, you probably signed it, sister. When you signed your child's birth certificate, you signed your child as a ward of the court. You signed your child as a ward of the court. Now, Black's Law Dictionary. Didn't I tell you y'all need this, right?
So you're saying the birth certificate is signed before you leave the hospital?
When you sign that birth certificate, you are the agent, what they call the informant. Yes, you sign over your child as a ward to the court, and that's why they tell you you can't do this, you can't do that. You award. Award is it says, I want to make sure I got it. Ward of the court. Infants and persons of unsound mind. Right? Their rights must be guarded, and it says that a ward is guarding, care as a ward to watch over. And so when you have the birth certificate with the state seal, Maryland state seal, is it your document?
No.
Okay. I'm from New York. Birth certificate had a state seal in New York when my mother signed it. Did my mother produce it? No, there was no laptops back then. She didn't get on in. So this is a document from the state that's owned by the state that's issued to you. And when you signed it, you signed your child as a ward of the state, and our mothers and fathers signed us as a ward of the state. Now you look up birth certificate and the stock exchange. Write that down. Before I play this video, I just want to make sure I give you some homework. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to think I'm crazy. I ain't on no drugs. I had just 2 cups of coffee today. That's all. Birth certificate and the stock exchange. Your birth certificate is sold on the stock exchange.
If you look on the birth certificate, they'll see that their parents are informants because the word informant is on the live birth certificate.
On the live birth certificate. Yes. On the live birth certificate. So what I'm saying is, I'm saying some close out. What I'm saying is the man that was born blind may not have been a physical blindness. Our young people are born blind by younger parents. Babies having babies. They're born blind. They're not given the fortitude. They're not given the prerequisites for survival. You follow what I'm saying? Just like when we get in our prerequisites in school, right? These young people today have no family values. They don't respect the elders. It is inappropriate for you to approach a policeman or get approached by a policeman in a drug zone, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're getting approached by a police officer and you're talking smack to him and he got a 9mm with 15 shots. And you still gonna talk trash? No respect for authority. None. No respect for authority. Because of beggar's mentality. A beggar's mentality. You ain't see these young people at the gas station now?
Yes.
Heartbreaking. You follow what I'm saying? So inappropriate behavior is part of the mental and spiritual blindness that they already have, and we can't blame nobody else. We have at least 3,000 churches in Baltimore. Why are we still living in adverse poverty? Why? You got brothers with kufis on North Avenue, Muslims, nod north. Back in the 90s, you couldn't do that. You would get beat down. You would be somewhere receiving hospital benefits. You understand what I'm saying? Back in the days, you could not disrespect an elder and get away with it. You couldn't. Yeah, matter of fact, Miss Campbell, Miss Cougar, man, these women were the 227. They were the pearls of the block. I played hooky. This before cell phones came out, y'all. I played hooky. My mama found out. He found out. Miss Cougar, Miss Johnson, Miss Campbell. Somebody was looking out the window scoping. Today, if you try to not chastise a child, but try to correct the inappropriate behavior, the parent will tell you, leave my child alone. When that child hears that, words have spirit, spirit has power. When that child hears the validation, they ain't got to listen to you. Gotta listen to you for. You know what I'm saying? My mother said, you better leave me alone. So just imagine with the male part of the family unit. I'm the 11th child. 7 sisters, 3 brothers. Thank God for Robert and Louise. Okay? We never saw my mother and father argue. They always took it inside. Never saw it. Never saw my mother and father fight. Never. You understand what I'm saying? Today, when a child sees the mother chump the father, and the father don't want to really pal because 911, you know what I mean? So today, a child sees, especially a boy, sees the father being demasculated, being stripped by the mother, then his desire for male authority is gone. Most of these boys in the juvenile justice system, they're in there, you know why? Because they're looking for the male figure in their daddy. That's why they come out, they think they tough. They come out and they went through a rites of passage and everything. They did a few push-ups and pumped up and everything. But nobody's telling them that you get a felony, you can't get 55 jobs. Ain't no white man did that. Ain't no Asian did that. Ain't no Arab did that. That came from the womb. So if we're going to deal with inappropriate behavior, we got to get to you sisters. We got to have more women's groups. And the men, we got to have young men's groups. We got to go back to how it was set up. Every society was set up that way, even the church. We fell off. Or is it that we're so stressed out with society? We're so stressed out with bills. Now we got to make brick without straw. I know everybody in here who's working is working 2 people's jobs. You know what I'm saying? I'm working 4. Shit, I'm excuse my language. My bad. I apologize. I apologize. Pray God, but please forgive me. But I'm just sharing with you the psychosis and the pathology of what's going on, and why the inappropriate behavior has to be dealt with from a scientific point of view. You have the religious point of view. These children don't want religion. They don't want religion. So how you going to reach them is through their level. So you got to go through hip hop. You got to go through the video games. You got to go. They don't even want to earn or learn no more. So we forgot about sitting at the table together as a family in the dining room. Young, go ahead.
You said that just sounds like pops in my head. Christmas passed.
Mm-hmm.
My nephew, I got a lot of nephews. I love them all.
Mm-hmm.
But he was turning 9. Like he had just turned 9 in November. And for Christmas, I had bought all of them a set: the basketball, the football, the baseball, the bat, and the glove set that come all together. And when he opened it Christmas morning, he grabbed the football and he was looking at it. He was like, "Where's the buttons? What am I supposed to do with the football?"
Yes.
He had no clue.
No clue.
No, something like that. He was supposed to go outside.
Yes.
And play. Like he was looking at it.
Yes.
And I was like, "It's a football. You can get buttons."
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't know what to